Well, hello again. I'm Bob Weir with another interview of candidates for elective office. My guest today is Tony Lawrence, who is running for Place 4 on the Mound Council. Thank you for being here, Tony.
Thanks a lot, Bob, for having me.
Please begin by telling our viewers something about your background, education, occupation, etc.
Yeah, I'm a working professional, a business development professional. I've lived in the area with my wife and two young children since 2010. And I'm also a 6-year Air Force veteran, so learned a lot about service during those years. That's what I do.
Is this your first time running for a public office?
This is my first time. I'm a newcomer to this process.
But you've been in Mound for 10 years, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Let's get with the questions, and I'll start by saying, in your opinion, what are the significant issues facing Mound in the near future?
Well, I'd say in the immediate future, we're dealing with issues of growth and how we grow. The question I have is, do we have the infrastructure in place to accommodate the growth that we're experiencing? With Denton County experiencing roughly 3% growth, right, and Flower Mound about 1% growth. I think actually recently more like 3 to 4%. We have a citizen influx, and we have got to find ways to innovate and to accommodate those who are moving here. And the issue I see is, with a lot of the multifamily developments, I'm not against multifamily developments, but that does increase traffic flow. And until we have that infrastructure in place, we're going to have a hard time growing the way we want in a smart way until those frameworks are laid out.
All right, so let me say this, speaking as a resident, what do you like most about living in Flower Mound?
What drew us, Bob, were the schools. I had a couple options to move either to Florida in the promotion that brought us to Texas, or to Texas. And looking in the area and studying the area, there's no place like Flower Mound.
I agree.
Right? It's a beautiful place. I mean, you spend even a few days here driving around, you see the way that the city's been developed.
Yeah.
It's stunning in so many ways, and I think we need to do everything we can to maintain that beauty and the integrity of the architecture that we all appreciate. The citizens are incredible. What I've learned on the campaign trail as I talk to citizens, Bob, is people are really engaged and they're passionate about the town. I'm a baseball coach with the Rattlers organization. I was on the field last night talking to citizens there, and one of the first things someone says when I mentioned that I was running for office is, Tony, we've got to slow down all these apartments. I mean, these are issues that people are engaged in. They feel it, they live it, and they want to see in many cases, a different direction, a more balanced direction.
Right. It is a challenge for the town leaders to try to keep some of the rural flavor of Flower Mound
Absolutely.
While still
Great point.
Not getting in the way of commercial development, and you have to have some residential development. So that's a major challenge. Flower Mound is a beautiful place to live. Sometimes I wish we wouldn't talk about it so much because too many people will find out. And they'll think,
it is a hidden gem, but it's no longer hidden, right? We're on a lot of national lists for great towns.
But we have to be open to others, just as they were to us.
Absolutely.
Now, is there anything about Flower Mound that you'd like to change?
Well, for me, my wife and I have served, I'd say privately, through serving the youth of the town, a lot of the high school students, and of course in local sports. I would like to see a better dialogue, more unity, more engagement from a voting standpoint. I've heard people say, Tony, there'll be about 5,000 votes cast in this election. There are over 70,000 people who live here.
Yeah.
That's not enough. And to be honest with you, my engagement in municipal politics and government has been pretty minimal, but it's no longer good enough. So as a town council member on Place 4, during my tenure, if I'm not part of the solution to get more engagement across the citizenry, I will not feel that I was completely successful in my role.
All right, I'm going to get into a couple of specific, like if you had been on the council, would you have voted to expand Morris Road?
Absolutely not, and I'll tell you why. I actually gave public testimony against expanding Morris up to 6 lanes. And my purposes might be a little bit different than others. We've talked a lot about roads in this town. We're not talking a lot about the future of transportation. The fact that within 10 years, 95% of cars, Bob, are going to be almost fully autonomous. Fully autonomous vehicles will actually route in different ways that are more efficient, use other roads that are not being used today. You know, we'd be surprised to know that a lot of the roads that we take to work might not be the most efficient based on how often we're stopping, you know, and how many folks are actually taking those streets. We'd be shocked if we did a true study. Part of my platform is creating more innovative ways to transport. And, you know, I know this is a divisive issue, but I truly believe in traffic circles. We've seen a few of them pop up around the town, but I don't think they're always done properly. I'm going to tell you why. If you go out to East or Windsor, on the west side, you will see multiple traffic circles. I think there are about 3 out there that keep the traffic flow. We have to keep traffic moving. By doing that, it actually reduces emissions. We're not, you know, versus that of a stoplight, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The problem is you don't want to put a traffic circle right before a light because you're just expediting traffic to that light. We've got to have concentric circles with proper aprons to allow those with big trucks and trailers in the area to pass through very easily. But it really does help, and actually they're 75% safer than traditional intersections. So there are some specifics on transportation and how we can make more better, I think.
Let me move to the Riverwalk. Are you satisfied with the progress?
Look, I'm a town champion, and I love what they're trying to do there. It is going to be a stunning area when more business comes. When my wife and I drive our kids through the area, it feels to me like a canvas without much paint, you know, and because of a lot of the multifamily, just the apartments that are on Morris, you can't really see much of it. It's a hidden gem. So once the puzzle pieces are laid out, once we get more paint on the canvas, it is going to be a stunning area that we can all be proud to have in our town.
Well, I agree. That's a good way of putting it, by the way.
Thank you.
Let's move on to the development called The Point. Would you have voted for the 600 apartments planned for The Point?
Let me approach it this way. And as I said at the F-Mark debate the other night, what I'm going to be for is anything that allows us to accommodate business, increase sales tax revenues, because right now we all know there's too much burden on residents. I'm a business development leader, and I believe I'm the most qualified of maybe anyone on the council to work within my Rolodex framework and with the Chamber of Commerce to do what every candidate says we have to do: increase the business tax base. We have to get more businesses in, because right now it's about a 70-30 split between the burden on homeowners and businesses. So I'm for anything within reason that allows us to actually accommodate for more business growth. And when that happens, you can mark my words, I will work diligently to reduce the tax burden on homeowners once we get a little more balance in that arena.
Well, I can tell you when I can remember back when this town was 90-10, and boy, it has increased the commercial development a lot.
If I knew what you know, Bob, I know wild.
Moving on to Lakeside, do you think it has lived up to your expectations?
I think it's a stunning area. I really do. I still think that anyone living or commuting on 2499, you know, it's creating more congestion. I think we need more businesses. We've got to listen to residents who want HEB, Trader Joe's, In-N-Out Burger. We need more of that in that area. It is beautiful, but again, I think it's not complete without the other pieces that could draw even more tourists.
And
to
the other
area.
pieces could be Lakeside Village, you think?
I do believe that. Yes, I absolutely.
Yeah, because that's a 35-acre tract that is going
Correct.
to be all
Correct.
upscale as well. Okay, we're being grabbed by the clock as usual, so I'll just ask you, is there anything else you'd like to add about your candidacy?
Look, I'm a newcomer, and I understand that, but I do bring fresh perspective, and I want to focus on some specifics. And one of those is increasing the business count and increasing the business tax base in this town. I look forward to convincing and earning the vote of the citizens in this town through conversations, through ideas, not through denigrating my political rivals. Let's talk about the ideas, and I hope that I can win based on those. I ask for your vote in this election. Tony O. Lawrence, place for Town Council.
All right, and what's your Facebook page?
It is tonyforflomo.com. That's not the number 4, it's TONYFOR Flomo.com, and I'd appreciate your visit. Reach out anytime.
And I also have that on the written portion of this interview.
Thank you so much for doing that, Bob.
And thank you, Tony, for being here. Good luck in the
True
election.
pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And thank you for watching.